Hi everyone, you are listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast, and I'm your host, Rachel Chamley. I'm a mindset and manifesting coach from the UK, and I am here to ignite that fire inside of you. If you are a female entrepreneur or change maker, or just a woman that is wanting more from life, then you are in exactly the right place. I am going to give you my no-nonsense, straight-talking advice to manifesting and show you how to take your life to that next level. So if you're ready, dive in now. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast episode. This week I want to talk to you about the power of yes. Now you might hear this around people saying yes to themselves and hearing it as a bit of a mantra, and I'll tell you why it is so powerful when you finally start saying yes to yourself. It's not just a case of saying yes, it is literally like a hell yes to the universe. And what happens is, because everything is energy, it literally kickstarts your manifestations. It puts that energetic boost into your frequency. So when you're thinking of things like, imagine you are tuning in a radio channel. You might have been thinking about the channel that you want to listen to. You might have been thinking of the songs that you like. You might have been thinking, oh, I want a bit of soul, or I want a bit of dance, whatever that is for you. And you could sit there and you could think about it. And nothing happens until you actually go and turn on the radio or tune in that dial to the frequency that you want. Now, often we don't get, if you think of an old style radio before the times of saying the lovely word Alexa, we'd had to go and physically turn the dial on the radio to get it to tune in to where we wanted it to be. So when you think of saying yes to yourself, you are doing that start. You are turning on the radio. When you keep saying yes to yourself, you turn in that dial more and more and more. And then suddenly, like magic, there is your favorite song on that radio. Your manifestations are exactly the same. What you have to do is start to tune your frequency, the way that you are working every day, your wavelength, to the desires that you want. And you do this from saying yes to yourself. Because what that does is, once you say yes, once you commit, once you make that action, not just saying, yes, I would like it, actually taking that action to say, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, that will be my next step. Yes, I'm going to try this thing. What that does is it changes your frequency a notch every single time. So you start to raise your vibration. You start to move in the direction of the desires that you want. When you are sitting back and you are not even putting your radio on because you are too busy planning how to move that dial, you are too busy planning how you can get from A to B without actually doing any of the steps, you are just doing it all in your head. You are literally sat there in silence, not playing anything on that radio. So you've got to take a little bit of background noise. You've got to take a little bit of that white noise sound and let it play in your ears a little bit till you tune in to where you want to be. And that's the power of saying yes. Once you start it, it starts this momentum. It starts the frequency starting to get aligned with where you want to be. Because what happens is, when you say yes, one, you are saying, I'm going to take some action here. Another thing you are saying is, I am worthy of my desires. I am actually saying, now you might not feel it at the minute, but that action of saying yes is saying to the universe, I am deciding that I am putting momentum into that direction. I am deciding that I am going for that desire, that dream. So what the universe sees is, you are worthy of it. It sees you saying, I am going for it. I am ready. I am worthy. And that is a huge shift. What tends to happen is you sometimes say yes, and then you'll take a couple of steps back and you start tuning it backwards. You think, oh, have I gone too far? All that stuff comes into play, and I love this radio analogy. But ultimately, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep that momentum. You've got to keep that energy moving so that the universe can align the different things. It's really like you push a domino, the next one goes, the next one goes, the next one goes. I am full of metaphors today. This is incredible. I hope you're all enjoying them. But once you push that domino, the momentum flows. The rest of them, yes, maybe one will stop and you just kick it again, say yes again. And then it goes again and again and again, and it starts to knock the next one down and the next one down and the next one down. So you've got to be the one that starts that momentum. You've got to be the one that starts to say yes to your desires, yes to your dreams. Yes, it is your time. Yes, you are worthy of them. Yes, I believe my desires want me more. And that is a huge, huge thing. Actually saying, what if this is true? What if I am imagining these desires? What if I am craving these desires? What if I am wanting this life? Because actually, that is the life I am meant to be living. Imagine how amazing that would be. Imagine that you had full, complete belief that what you see and what you imagine you can have. This isn't crazy thoughts. This is, anybody growing up on Disney knows that that is Walt Disney's favorite mantra. If you believe it, you can create it. If you imagine it, you can create it. So why do you think you're any different? So if you've been holding yourself back and not saying yes to yourself and not saying yes to your desires, or sitting back thinking, I'm not ready yet, I've got to get this sorted, got to get that sorted, got to do the other, I can't see the full route map, can't see the full how, you just have to stop and go, what can I say yes to next? What is my next yes? And it doesn't even have to make sense. It doesn't even have to be the big picture plan. It's just the next thing that feels good. The next thing that gets you excited and you don't know why. That is your next yes. The problem is we sit back and we hold ourselves back thinking, how's this yes going to end up being my ultimate yes? You don't need to know that. You just need to know that saying yes to yourself creates momentum, creates that next step to be unlocked, creates that next domino to flick over, creates that next radio station to come online and say, is this the one I want to listen to? Yes, no, let's keep going. So it really is that simple. Sometimes just saying yes to yourself is so freaking powerful, unbelievably powerful. So when you're hearing people say this, it's not just a mantra, it's not just nice thinking, it's not just something they do, which is, oh, that's nice. Wouldn't it be nice if everyone could do that? Everyone can do that. Everyone should be doing that. You should be doing that. There isn't a that's nice for them because that's your ego speaking, that's your butt coming in, that's your thinking you can't do that yet for whatever reason, unworthiness, unreadiness, whatever that is. It's all an excuse. It is all bullshit. It is all your head telling you that you can't when your heart is going, yes, yes, yes. Start the radio, tune in the frequency, get this song going. I am ready to friggin' dance. So if you have been holding yourself back from playing that song, dancing to that tune, living that life, what are you doing? All you have to do is say yes to your next yes. That literally is it. That is we overcomplicate the hell out of it. We really do overcomplicate everything. And all we need to do is start saying yes to the things that we want to say yes to, the things that light us up, the things that excite us, the things that feel scary as hell sometimes, but we know we want to say yes to them, and just do it. Doesn't even have to make sense. Doesn't even have to, fit into your major life plan. Your next step will show up. As soon as you say yes, something incredible will happen. You'll either have the absolute blast of your life or you'll have learned something. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's the next step you are meant to take. So I really hope this inspires you to start taking some action. I think what seems to happen is when people are manifesting, they're like, I'm doing all the meditation, I'm doing all the belief work, I'm doing all of that, but we're not putting any energy into our manifestations. We're not putting that action in. We're not actually moving any energy. We're just sitting there all nice, relaxed, doing the asking, but not actually saying we're committed, we're going for it, we're putting some action, we're putting some skin in the game, we are saying yes. That is when we get the energy shifting. You think of any energy moving. Say you've got something stuck, like a cough, so you've got your throat stuck, you've got stuck acid in your chest, whatever. You've got to start to get it moving. You've got to get it released. It can't just stay there. And that is exactly the same with you. You cannot just stay at the frequency that doesn't feel good, because you are not going to move forward towards your desires if that's the case. You've got to get this more movement going. You've got to get the ball rolling. You've got to start saying yes and get things really going. So what are you going to be saying yes to this week? What's your next yes? What is your next easy yes that's just like, oh my God, I have been thinking about this for ages. It's been going around my head. And of course it's a yes. What am I thinking of? What is that thing I need to be doing? I'm going to do it. Get this energy this week. Get going with it. Have an amazing week. Enjoying your yeses and saying yes to yourself finally. Hope you enjoyed this one and just go for it. You have nothing to lose. You sat there bored, overthinking, overplanning, feeling crap. Who wants to sit in that energy? Shift it and say yes to you. Catch you next week. Bye. I'm Rachel Chamley, and you've been listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast. If you're not already following me on social media, make sure you come and find me on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Chamley, or come and join the Manifesting Straight Talk Facebook group. All my details are in the show notes, so you can catch me there. But I hope you've been left feeling inspired after this podcast. It was so much fun. Join me next time for another episode of Manifesting Straight Talk.